30 years of Duncan the 6th narrow gauge engine and fence. The pothole in the cave. Sir Handel was looking in the cave. He found something which wasn't there before he and all his friends came along. "That's the naked man's hole," said his driver. "He made it a bed a long time ago." "It doesn't look like a bed to me," said Sir Handel. "It's full of water. If I would have guessed right, I would say that's when things were haunting him. There's some smell coming from it." The driver got down to have a look. He nearly fell over backwards with shock when he saw the sight of something frightening. It was the body of the naked man brought here after being shot in America. He told Sir Handel they should tell the others. He was about to leave the cave when some smoke rocked up. "Ah, Sir Handel," said Nightmare Moon, "I thought you'd like to know about that naked man." "Oh, hello again," said Sir Handel. "Did you bring him here a long time ago?" "I came to America and found his body lying about. I took him to this cave and put him in the same hole you found. I heard Duncan's tale that told me about him." "What about his soul?" "Well, after I gave his soul another chance and gave him some curves, I told him his life is changing. He would learn life, dead alive. He's my godchild, you'll see. And it is my duty to look after them. They're learning fine, and even told me how many years have I been doing the work on good and bad souls. I've done it for years. That's all I'm telling you about." Sir Handel came home and told the others about what he found and what Nightmare Moon had said. There was shock silence. The engines were shocked. And Duncan then said, "That's when I stole this book, gentlemen, and that hole you found, Sir Handel, is a croc's hideout, and it's to be forgotten. I'll do my duty of getting rid of it. Gentlemen, follow me." They came to the hole of the naked man's, and his crew began covering up the hole with concrete, which they had. And Duncan did a spell to make normal flooring. There, it won't be remembered for the years to come. It's a good thing you're founded without a cook on to handle. Yeah. No more cock things in any spots. The engines left and went on with work. They visited the cave for some tales they still tell, but ever since the naked man's hoe was gone, they never knew it. 50 years of Duncan the 6th narrow gauge engine and fans. Percy and the narrow gauge tracks. Percy was thinking of something else. I was wanting to do another thing, like my last day's coming up. So what can I do? The other engines weren't listening. It was a good thing they weren't, because Percy was wanting to surprise them again. He remembered Duncan telling they were waiting for their coal to be delivered, and he had some coal, so he might do their work and get their coal. One night, the driver of Duncan's came to see Percy. The coal works are getting the coal sorted, but none of the narrow gauge engines have coal. You've got enough coal, why don't you get it? All right, sir, right away. I know how to surprise the engines. The next morning, he went to get the trucks. Now, narrow gauge trucks are the same as standard gauge troublesome trucks. Silly and noisy. They talk a lot and don't attend to what they're doing. Percy never pulled them either the first time, and Duncan had warned him about them wanting to bump him along. He sorted them out in line. The narrow gauge trucks had never seen a tank engine take them for years. He's big. Best be careful with him, they said. They set off. They collected the coal and went to the shed. Morning was breaking as they went in the woods. Hey, let's try and bump him, one of them whispered. So they went there. Percy was putting his brakes to stop, but before he could, the trucks bumped him on and made him stop in the wrong place. Hey? Hey, you're not supposed to make me stop in the wrong place, he grumbled when he noticed they were not near the logs. The trucks were loaded, and he set off to set them up. But they were at it again. They refused to move. The wheels, just as they tried, they found they weren't strong enough against a big tank engine. Oh! Trying to trick me, are you? Percy scolded the trucks. Now listen to me. When you are taken, you are to behave. Otherwise, you'll be turned to scrap. The trucks went quiet when they heard that word. God. Now, you'll know how it feels to be picked on. He finished his turn, and now let Duncan, Peterson, and Sir Handel take their turn, delivering the logs. At the end of the day, it was time for Percy to go. Thanks for coming to help us, said Nurse. You did enjoy yourself. Oh, it was nothing really, said Percy modestly, and steamed off onto the Duncan Fish Railway and vanished. 30 years of Duncan the 6th narrow gauge engine and fence. James and the Hawks. James was to take the express, the narrow gauge one. He never pulled it then before. Be careful with them, said the narrow gauge engines. They are small, you know. Well, they haven't got brake pipes, said James. You narrow gauge guys are different to us. He was to pick up children to take home. Now, he was strong, but he had to be gentle. He was setting off smoothly, and the coacher seemed impressed. But what he didn't know was that the coupling hooks had loose. He went fast, making up time. Taking a narrow gauge express seems to make me look like a child in a daycare school, he thought. Agnes noticed her hook was looking old. It needed mending. The driver was watching it too. They came to Twisted Lane when it happened. The hook cracked and came loose. Stop! We're loose! Cried Agnes. James stopped. What's the matter? He asked. Agnes's hook's broken. It's been used so many times that it hasn't been mended. Oh dear. I'd better use mine then. James coupled up again, and they set off out of Twisted Lane. Thanks for telling me, Agnes. I wasn't told your hook was loose. Well, at least we weren't to run away, James. Hope it doesn't happen again. 30 years of Duncan, the 6th narrow gauge engine and fence. James off the rails. One day, James was resting in the siding after finishing the narrow gauge express. Scarlover came steaming by. Hello, old runner, he said. Oh, hey, I don't have squeaking brakes, said James. Fancy thinking up a cheesing word like that. Well, your stop is spread and nobody is forgetting it, James, said Scarnroby. Aren't worthless wooden big blocks? Asked Percy, who came to visit to get some bag of shapes for me. No, indeed, said James. How spirits might happen to own an engine, well, to crash for the buffers, like Sir Handel did. Well, I ask you, is it supposed to happen, buffers, not mules? Well, yes, it happens when nobody knows it would. A few days later, it was Scarnroby's turn to take the express. James was glad. He did it once. Agnes got her coupling hook snapped to death. They don't like having runaways happen to them. Oh, I see. You have been careful with them. Scarnroby steamed off. James yawned and went to sleep. But he didn't sleep for long. Wake up, James, said his driver. We're to take another train. Is it coaches or trucks? Trucks we're taking. Oh, it's the log connecting. I suppose I'd better get them sorted. He took the trucks of logs to the Palmer's upshot. After that, he went to rest in his same spot. Anything needs to fight snap when working, he told himself. He was backing in the siding, and he felt his back wheels hit a bump. He came off into a ditch. Ah! Get me out, please. Not a hope, James, said the driver. Your regulator broke off. That's why you couldn't stop. Percy and Thomas were there. They saw what had happened. Hello, James. Broke your regulator, said Thomas. I was trying to stop, but managed to come off and didn't stop. Yes, said James. Can you get me back on the line? Well, we would have. We could. We finished work, said Percy. So the tank engines began to pull him out of the ditch back on the line. That night, James crawled home, a sudden sneeze engine. 30 years of Duncan, the 6th narrow gauge engine and fans, the windmill and tunnel. Duncan found a line which none of his friends knew. He kept it a secret and never showed it out. But it did on the day the nurse and Scarnroby were wanting to race him. I'm doing a bit of work today in the woods, said Duncan, so I'm just heading there. Can we race you? Asked Scarlet. If you think you can beat me, why not catch me? Duncan steamed off. Scarlet and the nurse began to stalk him. Duncan raced ahead of his friends into the woods. He went. The others followed him there. Okay, time to head to my secret place. I have something which is a good secret covered inside. And Ace Scarlet didn't see Duncan take a hidden track behind the bushes. And a big mountain gorge. Hey, nurse, where did Duncan go? Oh, no, Scarlet. He just seemed to vanish. The gorge was very quiet and very easy hiding. This place is lovely. Now to find the windmill and the tunnel. The windmill was just 5 minutes ahead, and so was the tunnel. A man came out to see. Morning, Duncan. Morning, Rum. What are you doing today? I'm looking for my good secret. I made sure to nurse and Scarlet very soon. Good luck steaming and hiding in the tunnel. Duncan vanished, steaming for the tunnel. Shh, he whistled. This line he was on was taking him to a secret landscape. It was known as Brim Water Common. But of course some people say it's nice, but it was a worst suburb. The Bridgewater Railway was just a branch line that leads to a station. Inside there is a cafe. That is my secret. I'll tell my friends later. He went back to the others who were still looking for Duncan. Hello, you two. I'm just taking the flower. Eh? Where did you get that flower from? I don't know, Scarlet. Next day, he wanted to get his friends to know where he was in the hard way. If they want to know, they'll have to catch me again. Off he went again. He came to the woods and waited for Scarlet and Nurse when they came up. There he is, Nurse. Hey, what is he doing? Where's he going? We'd better follow him. Good. All is going well. He stopped in the tunnel and windmill side just as the nuisance gone over, Kenneth. What are you doing? Asked Nurse. I wanted to show you something. I keep visiting in this place. It's in this tunnel. He led his friends toward the Bridgewater Railway and Bridgewater Common. They were amazed. Wow, this place looks great. I never came here. Neither did I. But we need to be careful. There's a suburb which looks like a rough place we can't visit. What's it called? Gamble Village. It is known to people who learn never to visit without anyone to keep your company. Oh yes, I remember Martha with that village. I hope it changes its name. There's a landscape where the station used to be. One day we might get it open after we make it right, but do you think these mad people might notice it? They might, but I told my driver to inform the police. They're getting the Bridgewater Railway remade. We want them to send the mad people off. We're not doing it just yet. They went back to the main yard with Father. What's this then, Duncan? Just the flour for the shop, sir. We're attending to the logs. Oh, I see. Just showing your friends something else like the Bridgewater Railway. That's right. We're not remaking it yet. 30 years of Duncan, the 6th narrow gauge engine and fence. Theodore, Hank, and the haunted gorge. Theodore and Hank were exploring another part of the Duncanfish Railway. There is a gorge that nobody has been to. It was called Devil's Gorge. The place was full of water, but no water object ever visited it. You'll see, during the war, which was World War One, some people from England were wanting to go to Australia, so they would hide something. A box is a lot of money called pounds. We don't have pounds in Australia anymore these days. We have dollars. They hid somewhere in Devil's Gorge, and their family photos, so they won't get found out. Their life was tough. Many years later, they went back to England to have a peaceful life in Wales. Well, they were about to when they picked up the newspapers. They realized they can't go home. They tried to settle in their new home, but they can't show their faces in public. You'll see. Their lives are sad, and their parents died when they were in school in England, and they want anyone who can keep their secret lives a secret. They had only one choice. They would sleep in their beds and not come out forever. As they slept, Nightmare Moon visited the hiding house. She read their story in their mind and knew she had to keep their life a secret. There is one thing she can do which can make their lives fine, and that was by taking their souls. She took them out, then took their bodies to Australia, to Devil's Gorge. She then hid the money and family photos in a cave and took the souls to where many souls get settled down. The years passed, and the voices of the children were sounding in Devil's Gorge to warn off any wrongly bodies, who would try to steal the money and the family photos. One fine morning, in the smooth waters in Tasman's Sodor seas, Theodore and Hank were steaming along the high gorges. They came across Devil's Gorge, and Hank saw the sign being put up. "Is this Gorge a museum or something, Theodore?" he asked. "What do you think, driver?" asked Theodore. "Well, it's never been put here. It's never been put there," he admitted. Sunshine came up. "Nightmare Moon put it there," he said. "If your tug's visited at night, you'll have to keep something a secret, and you'll find the lost children's treasure." "Who's Nightmare Moon?" asked Hank. "Hang on, that's Princess Lorna. She was doing her soul Georgia work." "That is correct, gentlemen," said the voice. Nightmare Moon's smoke locked up from inside Devil's Gorge. "The children are safe with me. They're my godchildren, and the treasure is hidden. Watch out for any wrong person that tries to steal it. I've been watching a pair of brawlers that you have known for years. That's the Corp brothers. They were our captains, but when we worked fine, they began to think they might get found out from us. They never used common sense, those two, when they told us to go to our shed. We suspected they were wanting us scrapped. We ran away to another part where we worked and came here as soon as we were safe here. What are they doing?" "They began hunting you and giving you a task which is to be kept a secret. You're to take the lost children's treasure to the Palmer's Museum It's hidden in the gorge on the left. Take it, but when you take the photos and the money, stop the Cole brothers. They're to be given to the police, or they're to die in Devil's Gorge. We'll let them walk into Devil's Gorge. They'll grow restless in jail. No choice. You can do it tonight. She faded 3 times, went inside Devil's Gorge and began looking for the children's treasure. And a voice and another. Oh, it's the voices of the lost children, said Hank. The wind's blowing in here and is making the ghost noise. That's what it does, said Theodore. We're only visiting it. I hope it shuts up. We're hoping the souls to keep the secret safe. Look, there it is. It's clogged up this cave. It's in there, you're told. That's where she hid them. Now do we work, but keep an eye on the Cole brothers? Yes, I'm listening, so keep yourself safe from the criminals. They left to do the stone delivery. One day, Theodore and Hank were resting in the pier of the small dock. This task we're doing at night, Hank. It's a risk to make and break. Yeah, we might keep it a secret so no wrong one can know. They were about to go to work when they saw 2 figures walk up to them. Well, if it isn't Theodore and Hank, we thought we could find you in this miserable, stupid place. You'll see, the Cole brothers were a stupid pair, and they don't care about what's right and what's wrong. Plus they were boarders and, well, they just never learned anything except break the law. Theodore and Hank looked at them. They looked at each other. And then they looked away. Their mouths were closed. They didn't want them to know what they talked about. Aren't you going to tell us? One of the Cole brothers asked. Are you hiding something? We're hiding nothing, said Theodore. We're just doing the stonework. It's nothing that can interest you, said Hank. Sorry. You are hiding something, and you're going to tell us, the Cole brothers roared. Theodore and Hank decided to let them brag at them as they worked, so they did. Why don't you scrap tubs tell us what you're up to? They roared again, but they ignored them. till they happened to see what they had in their hands, they took out guns. We'll not kill you if you'll tell us what are you hiding. Leave those tugs alone, you talk. Sunshine popped up and used some smoke to fry their hands. Ow! Oh no! The trouble tried to get us in jail. That's right. I met your children. You were little boys. I took you from school to jail, so I'll do it again. All right, we'll go. Don't do whatever you did to us just then. Stupid bitch. Thanks, Sunshine. I think we'd better visit Devil's Gorge to find the lost children's treasure. I'll do your work, you two. Off you go. It's getting dark away. Theodore and Hank came back to Devil's Gorge. When they went in, the voices sounded. They didn't listen to it this time. The wind's nothing to worry us. We'll get the treasure safe. The gorge doesn't look spooky. There, but it is a clogged spot. Clogged up spot. We're just in time. We might get it out. I'll need Sunshine in his shed. Hank, listen. Suddenly they heard some boat coming to where they are. Turning round, they saw, to their shock, the Cobb brothers again. Oh dear, Theodore. We'll never get this out when they're coming in here. What are we going to do? I've got an idea, Hank. I can make a voice of the mother. It will fool them. That looks like fun. Theodore, can I try? Yes, you can. Me first. What's this? Who's there? Oh? Mother? Yes, it's me. Leave the tugs alone. What? How did you know? You were about to know about our plot. Well, I'm telling you, you're not so big on them. You wish to have a fight with your mother? Come on, Jim, let's get out of here. You are not. We are not. We are. Huh? Hey. Wait a minute. Who's behind those rocks? One of the Club Brothers. Oh, yes, the Club. Hey! I'm the Club Brother. So is mine. Oh? Then all are you. What? Hey, Tim. Something's fishy around here. Some voices are sounding with the no wind. Wait a minute, Tim. Who are you? Two guesses. And one guess. You're done, Hank. Let's get them. Got the treasure, Hank? Yeah. Got them, Theodore. Let's check them again. There's nobody here, but let's look in the cave. Ah, a snake! They're not clever now. Well done, Sir Hank. I'll sort them out. Hello, Nightmare Moon. That's again. Help me this 1 feet for 1 feet. Ah! Didn't wake up. Ah! Thank you, Nightmare Moon. Now we can get the treasure of the lost children to Sunshine and put them in Palmer's Museum. They met Sunshine and told him about the affair they had and saved the treasure. Well done, you two. Now let's get them to Palmer's Museum. The Cobb brothers won't haunt us. No. The treasure was safe, and so were the photos of the children. As for the Cobb brothers in Devil's Gorge, well, they were never heard again, except their voices, which are stuck in the gorge. You'll hear them and know they've died from an unexpected death. 30 years of Duncan the 6th narrow gauge engine and fence. The bump in the 5th corner. In Twisted Lane. There's this line that has been used for many years. Every engine likes coming here because they like to see the fish. Duncan was trotting along this country lane. He loves the smell of trees. This place is very good. As I take the branch line train, it's going to be useful. As he was steaming here, he noticed a bump on the 5th corner. That's not good, said the driver. That bump looks bumpy to get us off. Duncan stopped. They saw the line was melted from the sun. We'll have to get this mended, said the fireman. Let's get some new piece for the corner. Theodore and Hank came steaming by. Hey, you two, said Duncan. Can you get some pieces for this corner, please? We finished with the stonework. We might get some. As they were gone, the crew noticed something beside the line. Hey, look, a crowbar. This line didn't melt. It was this. Someone must have been wanting to rip the railway up. The line was mended, and Duncan set off again to find the police station. Well done, Duncan. We thought we can find this criminal's tool that gave you all the trouble. His name is Jim Quince. He lived here for many years. But when you came, he had hatred boil in him again. Another chain hater? Oh dear. This is getting worse. Where does he live? He lives in a house which is empty, just on the hill. I'll handle him. I have a way to sort a madness criminal. There was a house Duncan saw when he was working. This house is called the General Gin. He'd never been there before. It's his house, all right. How can I get this man to leave us alone? Watercross sort. It can get him to leave. Jim Quint came out. He saw something which was not supposed to be on his property. Something right. What are you doing here? He asked. I was about to ask the same thing, Jim. What are you doing here in this railway? I'm wanting trains to go away. My land is taken by them. Well, your mind is madness. You can't let them do as you're told. If you don't leave, you'll wish you were never born. You're not going to do that. I'll call the police on you. All right, you asked for it. Smoke fire. Every person with a bad mind deserves to be punished in secret ways. Now your house will be taken down. The house is destroyed, and the body of Jim Quint was taken from Nightmare Morn. No hatred trouble from him was ever heard. Well, that's the end of the pain in the neck twit. 30 years of Duncan, the 6th narrow gauge engine and fence. Drip tank. Sir Handel was taking the trucks home. He was finished with the stone and woodwork, and he had a good day. He was thinking about what job he would be doing, but he forgot to keep a good lookout. Too late. He saw the bush, a thick one, blown on the line, on the other side of Twisted Lane. Uh-oh, I'd better slow down, thought Sir Handel. It was a good thing he was on the Twisted Lane, because when he slowed down, he stopped. His driver had to take the bush off. He came home to the sheds. Hello, Sir Handel. Nearly pickled crashed in the bush. I almost crashed into it, yes. Did you drop it? Oh, I did. Sorry. The roof and sheet came off. We didn't have time to stop to pick it up. But I'm glad I didn't get picked from it. One day, Percy was helping with the wood connecting for the Duncan Hotel, and Sir Handel was cleaning up in the woods. Duncan was doing his work, taking the express. He had the people to take home. He went to Twister Station, dropped some off and picked up others. But just as he was about to go, he felt a clank and something hit hard from his front water tank. Ouch! He exclaimed. His driver saw what had happened. Your front tank, like we Georgia Woods, got a hard stick that you ran over, and it went up and gave you the leak, he said. We'll need some help. Persons to handle were finished and were coming in the station. Oh, hello, Duncan. Got a leak the first time? Yes, I have. Can you get my train moving? Yes, we can. The handle can take you and I'll do the express. Thanks. The work was done. Duncan was shunted in the shed to wait for his new front tank to come. Percy's gone to get it, said Sir Handel. You never had a leak on you for years. It's not fair being stuck with no tank. It gives my voice a dry feeling. Never mind. You won't wait for long. After years of Duncan, the 6th narrow gauge engine and fence, the mad grumpy truck. Duncan was just getting his branch line chain ready when the station master came up. Leave your coaches, please, Duncan. There's some trouble at the quarry. You ought to sort it out. What about my branch line chain? Asked Duncan. Duke can take your place. Off you go. This was an old, grumpy truck. He was not really having a good day. It was about the stone that was not being sorted. When can I get my load? He would rumble. Duncan arrived. He found Marshall was waiting. I know that truck. He used to help with the logs, but was grumbling so much about not being loaded fast enough that I had to send him to the quarry. I'll have to send him to the museum. He took him and took the stone. Oh, if it isn't that little ear no ends and it punished me, said Nurse. You see, he grumbles a lot, and what he doesn't know is that when you do a wrong thing, you'll become useless. Duncan had dealt with him before. I'm taking the stone now, Nurse. Come along. When he was done, Mash was shunted. Then something unexpected happened. His one body was rotten, and he hadn't been mended for years. And then came a crash. That will shut him up for the years to come, Duncan chuckled. I'll have to yield another truck. The mess was never heard again after he was taken to the scrapyards. He made a loud scream. It sounded from the smelter's shed somewhere, but nobody would ever listen to him. 30 years of Duncan the 6th narrow gauge engine and friends. Diesel's new work. One day, Percy, Thomas and James have invited Diesel to the Duncan Fish Railway. He'd never been here for many years. When they arrived, the narrow gauge engines came to greet them. "I know, we never had Diesel in our railway before," said Duncan. "Hello, you small lot. I'm invited to help with the log work, taking it to a hotel in, where did Percy say it was in? Dungan. After that, you'll help with the stone. It's got the Tree Mountain Railway for you to see. Oh, I've never been there before, and I've never heard about it. We'll show you when we finish. That's when we go home." So they did. The two things. Diesel didn't mind doing the logs and stone, and, well, he wasn't used to have his line with narrow gauge lines. What's this line called, Percy? Well, Diesel, it's called, stereo gauge. What's stereo gauge? It's our line and their lines mixed together. Fine for us to use. Oh, I get it. And I'm taking narrow gauge chains. It looks odd, don't you think? Diesel was finished with the work and was resting in the shed because it was bedtime. Though he enjoyed the different things, he was not getting used to the shed. "My shed spot has some large drum of rubbish where our drivers put them," he said to Duncan one late afternoon. "Well, I think I might have something that can be part of our shed. We haven't had it here for years. Follow me." "Oh? Hey, what happened to the piece of the turntable?" I think our maker has taken it off because we're too big for it." "Oh, right, Diesel." "Ow, bumped my nose." He took Diesel to a lock shop where they found a drum. "That's what it looks like. It matches the other one." They tossed it in the corner, and the crows filled it up with rubbish, said the cat. There, Diesel, now you'll feel at home. Yes, I do, Duncan. What I think I would like to have. Good night. Diesel was very pleased to have a bin in the mule shed. Now he began to feel like at home.